Yes. Arvell Reese, talented player, superstar athlete. It feels. Here's my thing, RC. In Mauigoa, I like adding at the line of scrimmage. Here's my thing. It feels like for the last 7 years, the Giants have taken like an edge defensive player. And as much Abdul Carter and Thibodeau and now Arvell Reese, and they obviously acquired Brian Burns in a trade. So it's like they got a lot of defensive front seven people. Okay, you better get a receiver tonight. And that was my hesitation with, okay, do you take Tyson at 5? You better get a receiver. Because the next 2 or 3 years, as great as all those pieces are, your quarterback is going to really determine how good this run is with Joe Shane and Harbaugh. And Malik Neighbors, superstar, coming off the injury. When's he going to be ready? When's he going to be Malik Neighbors dominant ready? Okay, they lost Wan'Dale Robinson. Yeah. So as much as I can appreciate those two picks, and they're good picks, I believe, picked 37th tonight, you better get a wide receiver because you need more perimeter talent.
I will say this to you. They definitely better get a wide receiver because you lost Robinson. I got that part. And Malik Neighbors went healthy. The brother's a stud. He's all world. I love him, and I get that. You had to take a defensive player, particularly when you just lost Lawrence. You had to get a defensive player. There's no doubt about that. And Reese is no joke, so we understand that too. What I would say to you about it is this, though, Dan. The culture of the New York Giants, when you talk, because let's pay attention. You know, it's not just about winning. It's also about rallying that fan base and reminding them of what made the Giants the Giants. You got to get back to making sure that you have elite talent on the defensive side of the ball with a bunch of rough riders that'll get after it. When you establish that culture in East Rutherford, New Jersey, in Big Blue, that goes a long way towards reminding folks and contributing to the kind of culture that led to you capturing a couple of Super Bowl championships. I mean, it could be from the days of Lawrence Taylor in '86 and the early '90s to what happened with Strahan and O.C. Umenyiora and all of those boys. It could be about that. It starts with that, is what I will say. So, yeah, you got to go out and get a receiver. There's no doubt about it. But the culture, what the Giants stood on, what would have people rallying towards them and really gravitating to themselves and ingratiating themselves with that fan base, giving folks locally a reason to believe that somehow, some way, you're steering this franchise in the right direction. This was the way to go. So I don't have a problem with it.
Go ahead, RC.
I mean, here's my thing. They obviously need to get a wide receiver. I don't think any of us, and maybe I'm wrong, expected Carnell Tate to go at 4 to the Tennessee Titans.
No,
and so I think immediately this draft was in flux. When you draft Arvell Reese at 5, he's different than Kayvon Thibodeau. He's different than Abdul Carter. Some of the things we saw them try to do with Abdul Carter that were separate or opposite of what we saw him do at Penn State, Arvell Reese has already done. He's not going to have to play in the same space that those guys are. There's some run and hit and hunt in Arvell Reese that's not in any of those players in the entire locker room for the New York Giants. So to me, that was a slam dunk. And then when you get to 10, and Jordan Tyson's already gone. Carnell Tate is already gone. The thing you can't do is reach for a wide receiver there and then now set your team back when you are trying to protect Jackson Dart, who we knew already had injury concerns. And so you go down to Miami and you get an absolute dog. You get a phenomenal road grader and someone that is going to put the team on his back to protect Jackson Dart. I believe that's smart. But Dan, you are 100% correct. When they walk out of the building tonight, when they leave that facility in East Rutherford, there better be a wide receiver added to this roster because you do set your young quarterback back if you do not.
I got to say this with both of y'all on the air because I don't know how much time we have y'all because y'all are very busy individuals doing the NFL. I mean, you're just so busy. I'm blessed and fortunate to have you.
No, it's because you got to do basketball.
I got that part.
You got to go to the Knicks. Go New York, go New York, go. You got to go to the Knicks. You got to go to the Knicks.
I'm not in the mood for that this morning. I'm not in the mood for that this morning, Dan Orlovsky. Don't kick me up. I was in a very good mood until y'all did that. Don't do that. Y'all supposed to be my boys. Y'all supposed to be my boys. Don't do that to me this morning. Don't do that to me because I'm pissed off enough as it is. But I want to say this about Ohio State. Top 11 picks in the NFL draft. 4 of them came from Ohio State. 3 on the defensive side of the ball. How the hell did you not win the national championship with Styles,
I've been
with
saying the
Reese,
same thing.
with Downs? What the? I mean, I love Ryan Day. I had the pleasure of interviewing him weeks ago before the playoffs. I mean, with Ohio State, I'm like, how the hell they lose? That's what I was asking about Duke with basketball when you had Cooper Flag and
they're
going to have another
on
4
the squad
next year.
together.
No. I'll handle this one. It's because Indiana won the championship, and we had the number 1 overall pick in Fernando Mendoza. That's why Ohio State didn't win the national championship.
Oh, that's what we doing, Shay. That's what we doing this morning.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing this morning.
Coming up, Stephen A., we're going to talk about
Lord.
those Knicks. Yikes!
Oh,
They
Lord.
fell short again and now trail in their series against the Hawks. Stephen A. knows.
It's Hembo time here, sneaky Hembo time it feels like. Who's the last top 3 pick to lead the NFL in rushing as a rookie, Graz?
I got it down to Barry Sanders or Eric Dickerson. Barry's my favorite player of all time. I'm inclined to say him, but I feel like I would remember if he had led the league in rushing as a rookie. Dickerson set the record in his second year. I'm going to say he led the league in rushing yards as a rookie. He was the second pick in the draft. Eric Dickerson.
Oh, there he is with the goggles. In the John Robinson offense. Yes. Look at that. Eric Dickerson's the answer, and the run continues. Hembo was fishing around during the commercial break to try and get off. I think to throw you off. He was asking a bunch of stuff to everybody else.
Oh, it's a good question. Somebody
Yep.
said Zeke Elliott, but he was the 4th pick.
Yes,
so
he
he
was.
wouldn't work.
Yeah,
so,
there it is.
yeah.
That's the sneaky Hembo
Good
time
question.
there. All right, and the Graz continues the domination, Hembo. Thanks for playing. All right, as we're back here on Get Up into Arizona we go, where the Cardinals ended up keeping the 3rd pick and drafting Jeremiah Love, making him the first running back drafted in the top 5 since Saquon Barkley went to the New York Giants at number 2 in 2018. Traeger, I'll start with you because we had a very heated discussion in hour number 1. What's your reaction to the Cardinals pick here?
Yeah, speaking afterwards, there really wasn't a ton of interest for that 3rd overall pick. It was put out there, but Monty Ossenfort's phone was not really ringing. So at that point, they just took the best player available. Also, the Jeremiah Love pick for these guys, it was kind of a statement of the Mike LaFleur era. We're just going to get the best player. We're going to put him in there. And I also think it was a circumstance with the rest of the draft. They didn't love Arvell Reese to the point where they were going to take him over Love. And I don't think they had the offensive line needs or the desire to take Mauigoa or Fano that early. When there's no one to trade back with, they took the best player. It can be 2 things. It could be the best player. It could also be a questionable pick. But in this draft, they viewed it to be the right one, and it thread the needle.
Okay, there's a lot of layers to this pick specifically, Graz, so I'm going to make sure we set this up the right way because this has nothing to do with the actual player, Jeremiah Love. This
I like
has
the player.
everything to
I'm a
do,
fan.
Yes, with the setup of the structure of the NFL and the position right now in 2026. Why are you not a fan of this pick at 3?
It doesn't make financial sense in terms of the salary cap. The 3rd pick in the draft, these contracts are predetermined. Whoever the 3rd pick was going to get the same contract no matter what position he played. The Cardinals are going to pay Jeremiah Love $13.1 million a year over the next 4 years. That would make him the 7th highest paid running back in the league right now. You're not extracting value from the pick. Your best case scenario is he plays up to his contract. And then you have to find bargains elsewhere on your roster to manage your cap and build out the roster. If you had taken Arvell Reese there and you qualify him as an edge rusher, he would have been about the 35th highest paid edge rusher in the league at the time of signing. Even Carnell Tate, right, at Tennessee at 4. The comparison I made earlier, Jeremiah Love's going to make Jonathan Taylor money. Carnell Tate, picked 1 pick later, is going to make Khalil Shakir money. Like, that's how you get value out of your draft pick. You're looking for guys that can exceed their salaries and their cap numbers in the first 4 years of their career so you can spend money elsewhere to fill needs.
You have an interesting take here specifically at 3. It's not so much taking Jeremiah Love, it's the Cardinals not taking someone else at 3.
It cost him a franchise quarterback. There's only 2 quarterbacks in this draft that have the capability of being franchise guys. One of them went number 1 overall. Ty Simpson's the other. Mike LaFleur is the new head coach, offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. Where did he come from? The Rams. He was Sean McVay's offensive coordinator for 3 years. If Sean McVay says, we don't need him, but this is my future, at 13, Cardinals should have taken him at 3. And you don't not take him there because you're like, man, well, I'd love to take him at 7. I'd love to take him at 8.
Right.
Doesn't matter if he's your franchise guy and he is a perfect fit. That is not arguable. Like, he's a perfect fit for the system. You should have taken him at 3. Love is a great player, but you have to figure out the quarterback position long-term first. And then Love would be a great compliment to any of that, to any team, because he's a sheer amazing talent. But it costs you your franchise quarterback.
Nick, this team has a ton of holes, a ton of spots they got to fill. How do you view what the Cardinals did at 3 and then the opportunity of letting a quarterback, a potential generational, I shouldn't say that, a potential franchise quarterback go here at 3?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make sense of it because I like to believe that all of these people are making informed decisions, but it's hard to understand why they would pass on Ty Simpson, because that seems like you're trying to optimize the draft by pushing a pick that you could get higher, pushing it till later. So if you're the type of team that's looking to optimize the draft, why would you draft a running back at number 3, which is like rule number 1? And like the analytics draft playbook is what we're not going to do is draft a running back super high. I'd be more willing to go to understand and get on board with that if they had the offensive line already in place or they had the quarterback in place to get the most out of this draft pick. We saw what happened last year with Ashton Genty going to a team that was not prepared to support his talent. But ultimately, all you need to do is draft great players. If he turns out to be great, we'll all forget all this. The problem is you made your window a little slimmer.
Real quick, Kevin, I think the smokescreen of the Simpson interest, it was just that. In the end, they didn't have Ty Simpson as a guy they valued as a 3rd overall pick, or even someone that they were really interested in getting back in. The phone didn't ring, so they couldn't trade back. So even that talk that we heard about the Chiefs and the Saints calling up and trying to get up for Reese, that wasn't there. They're ecstatic with their Jeremiah Love pick. I think 2 years down the line, we'll look at the salary cap and see, was this a disastrous thing financially that they couldn't surround him?
And you know what? 2 years down the line, maybe when you show up to a Cardinals game, you'll actually